We're joined today by Audrey Landers, great actress, singer, multi-talented woman who actually lives in our area down here in Sarasota, happy to say. And she plays the role of Afton Cooper on Dallas, and which has been on TNT now in its third season. She makes her debut on The Tonight Show, and she'll be on. We'll find out how many episodes she'll be on and all the lowdown. Audrey Landers joining us by telephone tonight. And Audrey, great to have you with us. I know we had you on about a year ago, and good to have you with us again. How have you been?
Well, thanks. I've been great.
I've been watching Dallas Season 3, and I know you're going to be on it. I guess it's on tonight's episode, right?
Yes, tonight's episode, 9 o'clock on TNT, and it's a big episode. It's the wedding, the much-anticipated wedding, of course. And,
with your daughter.
Yes, my daughter, my Afton's daughter, who is marrying JR's son. So it's a kind of a crazy combination for sure.
For the folks listening on the replay, Dallas airs Monday nights at 9 p.m. on TNT, and of course you can watch it on demand as well. But I think we talked last year, Audrey, about you going over to Dallas and shooting this new series, which really has done incredibly well. I guess there was some speculation, would the original Dallas fans still be there, and they have been.
Yeah, and I think that the really incredible part is that they've been able to gather the new fans as well, because the new cast is stunning and they're fun to look at and they're great actors and the writing has been very exciting. So I think that it's been they've met the challenge of combining the old and the new.
Yeah, I think the real challenge, sadly, we lost Larry Hagman last year. How do you kind of create a new villain to take his place, a likable villain, which Larry Hagman played so well as JR. But I think they've done a good job, at least the few episodes I've seen this year, with Josh Henderson doing JR's son. Kind of taking over that role.
Yes, he does. His character really is following in those footsteps, hard footsteps to follow, of course, but he's doing a really great job.
Let's talk a little bit about your role. Mm-hmm. Talk about your role again as Afton Cooper. Last year you came back and it was revealed that Julie Gonzalo, her character, is your daughter, Afton Cooper's daughter from the original series, right?
Yes, and that was a big surprise to everyone. It was even it was somewhat of a surprise to me, because the idea is that they keep the cast in the dark, except on a need-to-know basis. And so it wasn't until very late in the season that I actually saw that and discovered that myself. So that was a fun revelation. And I think they've been toying around with what they can do with the character of Afton, because, when I started on the show, I don't know how many years ago.
We won't say.
a few decades ago, literally. Afton was sort of this ingenue that was there to cause trouble. She was kind of a gold digger, and then her character evolved when she had her fling with JR, then with Cliff Barnes, and towards the end of the 8-year run that I had on the show, Afton was more or less the voice of reason. She had, grown up and matured, and honestly, that wasn't as much fun to play. But it was definitely more fun to play that conniving character, which they have brought me back as this year.
And Cliff Barnes, of course, played by great Ken Kercheval, who's sitting in a jail in Mexico. Audrey, is he going to get out?
You know what? I hope so.
I imagine he will, somehow.
Actually, maybe Afton doesn't hope so. There's no real clue as to whether Afton knows that Cliff was behind that explosion last year that was that took the babies from her daughter. And so it was pretty a very ruthless and evil thing to do. I think even more evil than JR would have been.
Yeah, so he has been more evil this year, or last year and into this year. But Ken plays that so well. I always like watching him and JR in the old series and now in the new one. Ken Kercheval is a great actor. Underrated, I think.
No, he's a terrific actor. He really gets into the role, and he adds so much personality to every line. He really does.
Yeah, great fun. And now this series, you talked about it last year, shoots pretty much all of its all of it in Dallas, right? I guess the old series shot most of it in Hollywood, except for some exteriors,
yes.
right?
Right. In the original series, we shot probably 8 or 9 months out of the year, or whatever it was, 8 months in, 7 months in L.A., in Culver City, which the old Lorimar, then MGM Studios, which I think now is, I think it's Sony now. But anyway, and then we would go to Dallas for a few months every year and do all the exteriors for the entire season. So back in the day, those writers had to really plan ahead because we would shoot so much out of sequence and for so much of a season. In those days, we would be picked up sometimes for 33 episodes or 32 episodes in a season.
Right.
So it was a very different world of television in those days. Now we film completely in Dallas, and it's very exciting because they've built an entire sound stage pretty much in the heart of Dallas, downtown. And that's where all the interior sets are. The living room and the kitchen and the hospital sets, everything is built in that studio. And, of course, there are the locations, the South Fork Ranch and all the beautiful and interesting locations throughout Dallas.
Is that the original South Fork that you're on now?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
We still do the exteriors that are supposed to be at South Fork.
Right.
They're really shot there. But the interior of the ranch is a set. I hate to give it away, but it is.
No.
And it's
I like all that inside stuff, but yeah, it looked like the original South Fork on the outside. I just wonder if that was the same one, or they recreated it. But yeah, it looks great.
It's the same one, and it's funny now going back to the actual South Fork Ranch. After all these years, it has changed so much because back in the day, it was really just a nice ranch with a very nice home on it, but not anything like the series portrayed. Yeah. And the pool area was great, and the horse fields were great. You know, all that really was beautiful. And it was there, and that still is there. But even then, we didn't shoot any of the interior of the ranch. That was all done on a set. The living room scenes and the bedroom scenes, they really were not on the ranch.
Also, on the original series, everybody lived together upstairs. They had their own room, even though they didn't really get along. It was a great house.
It was a great house. You know, when I was a young girl, I used to say, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice if my family could like that on a big compound and everyone is right close to each other." Well, moving to Sarasota was as close as we've gotten to that.
That's right. You have the Landers compound with your mom and your sister.
Not quite, but we're in close enough neighborhoods that it's terrific.
We played about a minute or so of the song "It Was Destiny." That was from a CD you put out. Was it last fall, Audrey?
I did. You know, it's funny because when I did the last season's appearances, there was so much. The fans, you know, it's fun. This is kind of digressing a little bit, but, you know, the social media really is a lot of fun because you get this personal interaction with fans that you really never had gotten before. So when the show aired, so many of the fans said, "Oh, are you ever going to release any more of your songs in this country?" And I remember Afton used to be a singer on Dallas as well, and we loved those songs. And you know, I had really toyed with the idea for a few years, but I've been working on lots of other projects. And then finally last year I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I put together the CD, some of my older songs that we re-recorded, and then first-time recordings of songs that I sang on Dallas, like Steal Me Away and Let Me Down Gently. And I put them on a CD called Dallas Feels Like Home, and we just put it out there basically because the fans asked for it. And I've gotten so many nice letters and emails and messages just saying that, it was nice to hear the songs and it brought back great memories. And for me it was wonderful too because, I wrote all the songs. And and in the original series I also wrote all the songs that Afton sang. And so I would kind of try to tailor them around of what was going on in the storyline at the time. For example, Steal Me Away was about running off with JR. It was kind of over-dramatized, perhaps. But, you know, it was the young girl's fantasy of, you know, her, in the series, this was her older secret love affair. And so that's what Steal Me Away was about. And then, of course, you know, it sort of, eventually I'll put all the songs on a CD that I sang in the series, but I just included a few on this one.
And I think you wanted to run away with Major Nelson. That was your
yeah,
fantasy.
That's what it. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
You look at his work, what Larry Hagman did on that show, I Dream of Jeannie show, great physical comedy, and then really, I mean, he had some humor on Dallas, but totally different character. You really appreciate how good an actor he was.
Oh, he was a wonderful actor. He really, really was. And he really made the character of JR come to life from virtually just words on a page.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
he really gave it a whole life. And it became his whole signature, really, for, you know, it defined his acting career, although he had done so many wonderful things before that.
He was kind of bouncing around a little bit after the I Dream of Jeannie show, kind of doing some episodic work, but really had not worked in a while until he got to Dallas and then really made that a character for him. Yeah, so.
Yes, that's kind of the way it is with acting. It's feast or famine.
Yep, that's true. That's the tough part of it, I guess, the challenge. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit. I've seen you talk about social media, and you do a lot of great posting on Facebook. You've been up in New York. I know your son is doing very well in music. Want to talk about him for a minute?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Daniel Landers, he goes by. Gee, I wonder why. But my son Daniel, you know, he's also a really prolific songwriter. I mean, you know, he's so young, and he already has about 70 songs in his catalog. And we've been plodding along and recording them as we go along. He plays, he's a great musician as well, and he produces the tracks. He actually creates the tracks. We produce them together. He creates them with, you know, other musicians, but basically the arrangements he works on. And, you know, he really is a hands-on musician and songwriter, and singer, of course. And so he's been working on his music a long time. He has been studying. He was studying at University of Miami at the Frost School of Music, which is a wonderful music school, and now he's taking some courses at NYU because he's in New York and he is performing at all the top clubs in New York.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Great.
It's really awesome. And so he was at the legendary The Bitter End, which was a club that, started way back when, and all the greats began there. Bruce Springsteen was there. Bob Dylan was there. Even Lady Gaga was there just before
Barbra
she
Streisand, I think, started there. Didn't Barbra Streisand? She started there, yeah. Right.
I think so. And Carole King. I mean, you just name them. I mean, and up through modern day artists as well. So he was really honored to be able to play on that stage and play that legendary piano as well, which was pretty, it gave you goosebumps. And then this week, it really did. And this week, actually, I'm in Sarasota now, but we're heading to New York tomorrow. He has his band rehearsal tomorrow. And then on Friday, he is going to be on stage at a new club called Slake in New York City. And it's owned by Webster Hall, which is another amazing and legendary venue that he'll be playing in the next few weeks after this.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, so
to him,
it's really, it's a hard, it's difficult for sure, but, you know, nothing that's worthwhile comes that easily. So you have to be prepared to work at it.
And I know you and your sister, you know, when you decided to move from Hollywood, the LA area to Sarasota, you want to give your kids a little more of a normal life, and I think that probably helped your kids, right? I mean, even though they got in the show business, I mean, I think it was a better atmosphere down here. Is that right?
You know, that was the intent. You know, honestly, we didn't want our kids to be in show business, And my other son, Adam, has no interest in show business, so it worked, okay? But Daniel, he had it in his blood since he was a little tiny kid, since we were doing the Hug-a-Bug Club.
Right.
And so he was jumping on that stage, from the time he was 4 years old. And, when you have that, you have to support your child's dreams. What are you supposed to do? Tell them, no, you can't follow your dreams? Absolutely not. You have to support it and do your best and keep them grounded as well. And that's the goal.
No, but I mean, as far as living in Sarasota, a lot different than in L.A. I think it was a better atmosphere growing up.
It was a beautiful experience, and I think it was the best choice we made. It's such a, we love it here. We travel all over the world, and way more often than I would like to. I mean, I have a fashion no, seriously, I have a fashion collection with my mom, and we travel all over. We travel on QVC in London and home shopping in Germany, and so we're always somewhere else. And coming home to Sarasota truly is like coming home to paradise, and we love it here. We have a home in New York now too, and so as much as I love the energy of New York, I always miss Sarasota.
I grew up in New York too. I miss that, but I wouldn't want to live there. I think it's nice always nice to fly back. Then you see the water flying into Sarasota. It makes you feel comfortable.
It does. It's like, it really is. It's just a forced relaxation. You just go, ah.
And again, you mentioned your mom. Of course, Ruth is the matriarch. She really handles all the business aspect of all your businesses. So she's doing well.
Yeah, we've been in nonstop meetings today as well. We're working on some projects together here in Sarasota. We're trying to develop a new television series to be filmed in Sarasota, Bradenton area. So we're very excited about that, and we're doing some exploring about locations and production partners in Sarasota and Bradenton. And I hope I'll have some more information to tell you about that soon. But we're really plugging away because as we love it here, and wouldn't it be great to be able to film our own series and somebody else's series
That's right.
as well, here. We kind of forged some ground when we first moved here, and my mom produced the film that we called Circus Island.
Circus Island, right.
Yeah, and that was kind of a groundbreaking thing for Sarasota because we kind of brought our Hollywood experience here and just went feet first, said we're going to jump right in and film something here in Sarasota. So in the beginning, it was quite a few years ago, there were some challenges. I don't think that Sarasota was as sophisticated in the entertainment industry as it is growing into now. It's becoming more sophisticated, but then it was pretty challenging. We couldn't find a crew, and we had to draw from other areas. But with our new series, we're really hoping to use all local crew and cast and, really approach it from a local standpoint, 100%.
That's great. Yeah, let me know, Audrey, when you find out more about it, or you can tell us more about it, of course, locally at WTMY Radio, and we'll definitely talk about that. And if you ever need an announcer, let me know.
I will. I love your voice, Doug. I love it.
Audrey, I appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you got that busy schedule. We wanted to have you on to talk about Dallas again tonight as we are live at 9 p.m., but every Monday on TNT. And I don't know how many episodes they're doing this season. Did they say? Is it 15 or 13?
Yeah, I think so. 13, I think, this season. I'm not sure exactly. But also, if any of you guys listening, if you get on Twitter, follow me, tweet me, whatever. I live tweet during the show. I love to, and I'm always pretty active on Twitter. And so I'd love to hear from you.
Is it at Audrey Landers, the Twitter? What's your Twitter handle? People, you can give that out.
At Audrey Landers.
Right. And the website, again, give your website out, get all the information of your projects. What is that?
Oh, Landers? Okay. That's also pretty easy. AudreyLanders.com.
Oh, okay.
And you should check out Daniel's new video. Oh, you've got to look at that. It's so pretty.
I saw that on Facebook today. Yeah, very good.
Oh, yeah, his new video is called Love Me Tonight. So if you go onto YouTube and you just click on Daniel Landers, Love Me Tonight, it'll take you right to his latest music video, which we shot here in Sarasota. Funny story, we actually brought a piano down to the beach, which was challenging, and we dragged that piano everywhere. Because
over at Lido Beach, Siesta Beach, or which was Siesta Beach?
We were actually on Siesta.
Yeah.
And so it's a really nice, fun, pretty video, very romantic, and it's going to be the first single from his new album that we are preparing as we speak. We're going to be releasing it in Spain, for starters, Spain and Latin America. So.
And you used to travel to Germany and do concerts over there as well, right?
I did, but now we're exploring the Latin market, and Daniel's going to break that market for the Landers family.
Great. It's a complete empire, Audrey.
Global domination.
Global domination. Afton Cooper. He's taking over where JR left off.
That's right. Well, Cliff Barnes, what is his Global One or whatever his company is called?
Cliff's never going to have the upper hand. He always has to be second, or else the character doesn't work. So. That's
true. Yeah, he always was that. No matter how successful he gets, he just can't beat those Ewings.
He played the great schlub. He always knew he was going to get it in the end. And he keeps coming back.
Yeah, he does.
Well, Audrey, appreciate you taking a few minutes again, and we'll talk to you real soon. And again, see her as Afton Cooper.